Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor. We're back with some actual news. I know some of you guys are saying, Connor, where's this? Where's that? We need to get some players in right now. What's going on? Why we're not seeing anyone? Of the 49 is going to take all of our hard-earned cash and leave the Red Bull network just here to take over Leeds United, and the 49ers are going to run off into the distance. Well, everybody, not only is Joe Rothwell come in and Alex Cairns, of which I genuinely believe when you look at those two, it's two smart additions. I think Cairns is going to push Darlow the whole way. To be honest with you, I mentioned previously that I don't think Darlow's up to much really at Leeds United. I don't think he's up to much as a Leeds United goalkeeper option there anywhere. I don't think he's going to push melee whatsoever. So I think Cairns is going to be an interesting one to see if he actually makes any impact at Leeds United whatsoever in terms of maybe pushing Elon Melee. Who knows? Salford City and Fleetwood, he's got a lot of caps under his belt. Carl Darlow seems to be the fall guy for many clubs, including Forest and Newcastle. And now Leeds United. So, that's a good signing. The Joe Rodon one, obviously, we beat off competition from Brentford, from Ipswich and Leicester City for the signing of Joe Rodon. Really good addition there. Archie Gray, obviously going the other way, which I know other people found a little bit annoying. But for me, listen, I sort of understood it, and the stock was very, very high. At this moment in time for Archie Gray, would it have mellowed out? Would it have increased? Who knows? This is football, isn't it? But we just made a video about 2 hours ago on Try Hume, and I want you guys to go and literally watch that as well, because I do wonder genuinely if we are looking at this guy and there's reports stating that Leeds are one of the clubs looking at him right now. I would definitely encourage you guys to go watch that video. But right now, I'll stop waffling. Kind of going to stop waffling, but we're going to keep talking about it, aren't we? But Leeds United are apparently set to sign 29-year-old Southampton midfielder, or was Southampton midfielder last season, Joe Rothwell. Now, Southampton had a whole raft of loanees last season who did the job. With the likes of Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Rothwell. They had another couple of others in there, didn't they? They had. I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. I had some in my head before starting this, and it's gone. You guys will remind me in the comment section below. But listen, they had loanees, didn't they? Brooks is another one that's just come back to me right now. But Southampton really utilised the loan market well. I wasn't so sure Leeds United did, to be quite honest with you. Joe Rothwell, they signed him in January, as I've just mentioned to you guys, 29 years of age. Southampton got him in on loan from Bournemouth. He was signed from Blackburn by Bournemouth, and listen, he was going to be intertwined within the Bournemouth setup. Really good player, very different to Glen Kamara, in my opinion, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But Joe Rothwell was one of the players that we were talking about in January as being a potential option for Leeds United if bits were going to move. Now, Southampton really made their mark in the January transfer window. We're able to acquire Joe Rothwell amongst others, and listen, could it have been a game changer for them? We saw Ipswich move with signings, including Kiefer Moore, and you thought to yourself, oh, Jeremy Sarmiento been another one, and they were really utilising that loan market. But what does Joe Rothwell bring to Leeds United? He's going to bring goals. He's going to bring assists. He's going to bring XG. The guy is going to bring a lot when it comes to offensive actions, and that is the positive that we've got. He played around about 20 games for Southampton last season. The reason he only played 20 games, obviously, because he joined in January. I think he got 4 goals and an assist. So it was either 4 assists and a goal. I can't quite remember. It was one of those the other way around. But he's a constant presence in the box. A constant presence in the box. Who's a menace? Who's a goal threat? And who is going to give Leeds a little bit of a different dimension when it comes to that midfield. If Archie was to go into the midfield, it might be more of a like-for-like replacement for him. But along with that, Rothwell brings exactly what Daniel Farke has wanted and was talking about in the previous season of wanting experience. Farke got to the back end of the window and started saying, look, they've got Sam Morsey, Ipswich. They've got Massimo Luongo, Ipswich. We don't have that experience. So now Daniel Farke has got an older head in there. Obviously, we've seen Archie Gray go the other way. In general, in terms of midfielders, this campaign, he's 18 years of age. The average age of Leeds United has now dramatically increased. Obviously, Joe Rodon's come in, 26 years of age, 27 this season. Now Joe Rothwell's come in, 29 years of age. Look, what does it tell you? What does it tell you? It tells you that we all want a closed shop until we don't want a closed shop, and we all want to know about every single transfer. We've got to stay on the party line here. The 49ers, listen, we'll talk about rumours. This is what the rumour mill is taught. This is what it's all about, everybody. And I've mentioned this several times. You honestly get drip fed from other clubs. That's what invariably happens if you've got a tight ship. When it comes to ownership at your club or whatever, or another club, it invariably comes from the other side. And as you've seen right now, Mark McAdam, who's the first to leak the story, is very, very, very close with Bournemouth News. He was the one who was talking about the Sinistera deal. When that first happened, he was one of the first ones breaking that at Sky Sports. Mark McAdam, really, really close to Bournemouth. So this is what happens. You get it from the other side. Now, interestingly enough, when we had that conversation with the 49ers representative, he said that he doesn't want anything leaking now and Leeds don't want anything leaking from their side. Why? Because deals break down. And this deal can still break down. He's got a medical to do, but the deal is shaped up in a way of we're getting for a loan, and there is an option for Leeds United. Leeds are like the first option to sign him after that year. So I see this as a really smart pickup, really good deal. Someone who's played Premier League minutes, someone who has done well at Southampton last season, had 20 games for them. And look, I think there's a reason the 49ers are putting these smart moves in place. I'm honestly, guys, and it's football subjective, of course. Yeah, and I'm with you, Cass. People saying it's underwhelming. I don't really understand that. Very uninspiring. Really surprised. Scored 2 against Huddersfield and 2 against Sunderland, says Danny Talk Sport. So there you go, mate. I think I got it the wrong way around in terms of goals and assists, but that's more than our entire midfield combined, and he's done that in the second half of the season. So why is it an underwhelming signing? And for me, I always say this, and it gets boring me saying it, but because I'm live and I'm doing videos sort of 2-3 times a day, I come on here and say, look, football is subjective, of course it is, but I'd like to know why it's an underwhelming signing. Why is that an underwhelming signing? We call for experience. We call for goals in the midfield. We call for Premier League caliber player, of which Rothwell is. He's played minutes in the Premier League. We all know that. He was bought as a Premier League signing as well. When it comes to projection of what he was to become. Why is this a bad signing? I don't really understand. The club that he was part of last season got up. Rothwell was a contributor to that. He didn't play in the final, of course, against Leeds United. But guys, there is a real argument here that Southampton had a better overall squad than Leeds United last year. There really is, especially in the midfield department. You look at that midfield department, it was locked down pretty much by Flynn Downs, who was unbelievable that season. And they had real strength and power and athleticism and physicality off the bench. Did Leeds have that? Especially in the midfield department, did we have physicality, athleticism, prowess, and above all, everybody, goals? Did we have that from the midfield? We didn't. So how I'm looking at it right now is they're building the spine a little bit. And already when you're seeing Joe Rodon and when you're seeing Joe Rothwell as part of a spine, that's not bad at all, everybody, for championship level. It really isn't. And I think maybe there needs to be some understanding of where we're at. There needs to be maybe an understanding of the level we're at right now and what we're able to do and what we're not able to do. I was speaking about targets earlier on today, but Joe Rothwell, for me, everybody, is a really nice addition. It's a really, really smart addition as well. Tom says Rothwell is a class signing, proper 8, scores worldies, great passer, can take set pieces, and it is an absolute S-house off the ball. Now, the latter bit is completely true. Now, if you've ever watched Joe Rothwell, he is Sam Morsey with pure technical ability. In terms of the SHIT house that he is. And obviously, Morsey's more of a 6 and Rothwell's an 8, but just the comparison of how he can slow the game down. I mean, even at Ellen Road, when he's coming off the pitch and he's jeering the Southampton fans, getting him up and he's strolling off the pitch. He knows what he's doing. I just feel that there's a real understanding, an elite mentality there when it comes to the relative level that we're at right now. Of I know how to slow the game down when we're winning and how to speed it up when we're losing. And I just think from an attacking standpoint, very good. I think from a know-how point, very good. And I don't really see a negative to this one as well. If we're worried a little bit about the financial implication, okay, fair enough. It's a loan, so we don't have to be committed to anything like that. And and there's obviously an option to then sign next year, presumably if we are in the Premier League. And Bournemouth are looking to get loads of players off the books as well this season. They've got so many players attached to them. Bournemouth, you forget when they bring all of these like class players in, You know, you forget that they don't really seem to get rid of many. You know, they've still got the likes of Rothwell, the likes of Lewis Cook, still on the books. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of it. And do you know what? Do you know what the beautiful thing is, everybody, as well? It does really enable us to go to a 4-3-3. And I love the 4-3-3. The 4-3-3, I think, with this team 100% works. I've mentioned before, I think the 3-4-3 works as well if Verb is to stick around. But the 4-3-3, the three midfield, the dimension aspect there really, really is nice. You know, you could have in a pivot, you could have Gruev at the base of the pivot, you could have then Kamara, and you could have Rothwell in almost the sort of like 6 and the 8 or 2 8s if you want to be really adventurous, which Kamara has deployed at Rangers, or you could just have 2 at the base and Rothwell as an advanced number 8. Guys, it's not a lot of money at all. There'll be some sort of negotiation, obviously, when it comes to Leeds paying an X amount of wages. We could be paying the full amount when it comes to the wages. We're not privy to the negotiation yet. But for near to nothing when it's come to a loan move, we all keep talking about how we have to attack the loan market this year. I really struggle to see why it was good enough for Southampton last January and why it's been good for very decent clubs relative to Leeds United, but it's not good enough for us. Why is that? You know, what we've got to really think about the target market here for me. Okay. Let's have a look. Yes, it is an option to buy. Rolling Wolf says Farke knows the players needed to suit his style. This is strong and forward move. Is Rothwell primarily going to be used as a midfield or a centre half, which he played in that position? No, Michael, he'll be used as a midfielder. Definitely a midfielder. Yeah, 100%. That's where his strengths are. That's where his strengths are at. Great signing, strengths are dribbling and great at set pieces, mate. Leeds are a champ club. We have to sign champ players. Rothwell can score from midfield. So let me just show you this graphic, everybody. This might give you a little bit of an indication of what Joe Rothwell is all about. I'm just going to show you something that All Stats Aren't We have put up, which is just literally about his comparison with Glen Kamara. So let me just show you here. It should be on Twitter here. So here we go. This is just an example here of Joe Rothwell in comparison to Glen Kamara. So as you can see here, expected goals is something that is just a big thing now. The red is Glen Kamara and the blue key is Joe Rothwell. So as you can see here, shot creating actions look by far and away above Glen Kamara. You look at a lot of these offensive metrics as well. Expected assisted goals, assists, you know, non-penalty XG, non-penalty goals. And then you look a little bit more at the touches side of things, which is very, very heavily in favour of Glen Kamara. Now, it's probably because Leeds United were completely dominant, and there was in terms of trying to feed the ball through to Kamara to get to Somerville. Progressive passes, there we go, which Glen Kamara has got a little bit of an advantage over. Percentage of aerials, one is a little bit over Joe there. His pass completion as well, a little bit over Joe there. Passes attempted as well, much more significant than Joe Rothwell. But you can see here, guys, when you look at the balance of this, Glen Kamara, very, very good when it comes to the silky smooth operator, all those attributes that we speak about when it comes to touches, completion, passes. But we had huge issues in this area last year, this area of a midfielder actually being able to do midfield things, which we've not had really for a full season really here. So I think listen, it's not the fancy Dan signing that we're all sort of wanting. It's in terms of this Premier League player who we can go and get and he's going to be this, that, and the other. Is that realistic right now? Probably not. Is central midfield going to be a massive focus for Leeds United in this window? I don't think so. I think the large focus is going to be on Leeds' central defence. I think it's going to be on potentially a left back and a right back. And if we're lucky, a central attacking midfielder. Obviously, then it's going to be very, very dependent on what happens with, Nonso, Rutter and Somerville as regards to replacing those. But when it comes to a centre midfielder, I think you've got a steady Eddie there. Who's going to be able to get you goals. He's a good striker of the ball, a clean striker of the ball, someone who can aid on set pieces, of which we were crap. Absolutely below baseline, abhorrent last year when it comes to putting the ball in the box. Actually being able to put the ball in the box was a task for Leeds during the season, and actually getting a connection on the ball will be aided by Pascal being fit, will be aided by Joe Rodon coming back and giving a bit of a physical presence, but someone who can actually put the ball into the box as well, Joe Rothwell, That'll help. That really will help. Let's have a quick look. Special like peeps, yeah, really appreciate that, everybody. If you just do that, please make sure you do it as well, everybody. I think it's it just really helps the video. Okay, let's have a quick look. Dan Savage is more of an Archie replacement. I'm not 100% sure. And Rory said, is he not the Cam you're talking about, Connor? When I look at Rothwell, I don't really look at an out and out number like central attacking midfielder number 10. You know, when I'm looking at number 10, I'm thinking about Elias Share, I'm thinking about Callum O'Hare. They're the sort of archetypes that I'm thinking of. Rothwell isn't a number 10. He's not a Cam. I'd say he was a number 8. You know, I think in many ways he's very similar to Glen Kamara. You know, he's a tidy footballer, but he just gives you more of an upside in terms of, Leeds being able to do more going forward with Rothwell. And that's what I was talking about. Leeds maybe being able to deviate to a 4-3-3, something which encompasses utilising 2 number 8s. We might not even need a number 10 because we might not be playing that way. If we deviate a little bit away from a 4-2-3-1, who knows? But is that likely? Probably not. Agree with you on set pieces. Last cross in set play was Strauch, and his last, 100%, mate. Good championship signing for sure, but looking beyond, not sure. Smash a like and subscribe, please. It helps the algorithm, really does. Thanks, Danny. And I think it does. Leeds United community just mentioned, would Kamara leave now? I still feel that if Kamara was to leave, we'd need another body. Obviously, he's been linked with Ren, but it does really clear up a lot of what Farke was talking about. Farke wanted experience in that midfield. He's now got it. Farke wanted more goals from that midfield. He's now got it. So listen, everyone, I don't mind this signing whatsoever. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm not going to go on too much about this. We speak about another signing that apparently Leeds are looking at, and this is once again from the other side of it. Sunderland, it's in the Sunderland Echo, it's in the Belfast Telegraph. Make sure you check that out, everybody. That's the video a little bit earlier on. We did a stream a little bit earlier on as well in the day. We've got 3 out today, one very, very earlier on, about the Red Bull ownership, and now what we've learned about how much that minority stake is that Red Bull hold, and the Ellen Road Stadium ownership. Make sure you check that out. Everybody, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. Leeds United looks set to sign Joe Rothwell on a season-long deal. Let me know what you think in the comment section below as always. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.